if someone is doing something to enhance their performance, I put that in a different category than someone cheating cheating or gambling, undermining the integrity of the game through just greed and wanting to make money. I think that's completely different. I want to move. Pete Rose is now a candidate, I guess, now for the Baseball Hall of Fame. Rob Manfred and baseball have announced this, that he and Shoeless Joe Jackson, they're now eligible. Should we credit FanDuel and DraftKings for this? Did they make the call here and say, hey, the greatest gamblers have to be eligible for the Hall of Fame? Or what do you think about this?
Okay, I thought you were going to ask me if they were going to put odds on what are the odds of him actually getting into Cooperstown. I would say, minus 250? Look, this is about a year too late, given the circumstances. And for Shoeless Joe, about 75 years too late. Look, there's a reality to this. When I first heard this, I said, great, now you can get into the Hall of Fame. But now there's a group of writers who are making it clear, no. We control the process. We are the guardians at the gate. And Jason, I would say to those writers, some of whom I really actually respect and like, get over yourself. I mean, seriously, the guy paid his penance. All right, his induction into his rightful place in Cooperstown, he served a sentence of about, 25, 30 years? He died. He won't even get to enjoy the process. You cannot tell me with his numbers and his accomplishments that man is not a Hall of Famer. Come on, get over yourselves, writers. Give me a break.
Look, man, I like Pete Rose. I met him, enjoyed him. I do think there are consequences to all of our actions. And gambling and all that, I think should be a consequence. He can't get into the Hall of Fame. I got no problem with it. He certainly was a Hall of Fame player. I just don't have a problem with it. I don't. There's consequences. It's. Hey, look, man, I can't wear size 32 jeans, and they shouldn't make larger size 32 jeans to accommodate me. I got to deal with the consequences.
But wait a minute, Jason. You don't deserve to wear size 32 jeans. Pete Rose deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. That's little rotten apples to good oranges here. That's not a great comparison. And another thing, and I respect your stance, but there's also a lot of writers that say, well, anyone that used steroids is never getting my check marks. That means Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, you know the names. But can we be honest about it? I believe that a lot of those writers knowingly voted for players who were very suspicious, because we all knew the guys that were a little bit, we kind of looked at them like, wow, 25 pounds of lean muscle mass, and all of a sudden you're hitting 50 home runs, huh? Suddenly. But yet they voted for them. I just don't, again, and I know I might be in the minority, when you have a Hall of Fame that does not have Charlie Hustle, Barry Lamar Bonds, Alex Rodriguez, and Roger Clemens, that does not seem to me a complete Hall of Fame.
So, as it relates to, and I'm not justifying steroids or the abuse of drugs in pursuit of better play, but if someone is doing something to enhance their performance, I put that in a different category than someone cheating or gambling, undermining the integrity of the game through just greed and wanting to make money. I think that's completely different. And that's someone, I played college football, competed even in high school football. I knew guys, and I didn't take steroids, but I knew guys that did. And it never bothered me. And it probably should have, but I just didn't care. I was like, that's what they got to do to compete. It's not that I affirmed it, but I just didn't care. They're trying to compete, but this is all. And so when I look at Barry Bonds and all those guys, I was like, hey, man, if steroids had been available when Babe Ruth was playing, he would have been on them. And so I put that in a different category than people that took actions that undermine the integrity of the game.
Jason, you make a great point, and I cannot disagree, because let's say I'm a journeyman ball player. I'm a utility guy. End of my career, I've never won a World Series. And I know a player or two that was on the stuff, the cream and the clear and all that other Balco great stuff. And because they have these monster years, they win a World Series. But let's say there's a health impact and they lose 5 to 10 years. I'll be honest. I'd tell those guys, hey, guys, thanks for that sacrifice. I got this ring because of you. I get it. It's a very, very sound argument. The other argument, though, Jason, hold on, but there's a flip side to this. There have been major league players that have also made this argument. I did it the clean way, and now you're putting pressure on me because you might take my job by cheating, and now you might actually make the steroid usage rampant because everybody wants one of those very tough-to-get roster spots. So there is a bit of a gray area as it relates to the use of performance-enhancing drugs in all sports.
I agree with you. I think it's a great point. But then you have to go to the place of, okay, we have a society that values money inappropriately.
Yes.
But that is our society. And so we have to recognize, like, man, when you're talking about making $20, $30, $40, $50 million a year, there's guys turning to whatever product is necessary to make $10 million a year, $15 million a year, $20 million. That's inevitable in a society that values money the way we do here in America. And I think we inappropriately, there's too much an obsession of money. But asking guys or expecting guys not to use performance-enhancing drugs when you've dumped that much money into these games, I think is perhaps an unreasonable expectation.
I don't disagree with you, and I'm going to relate this to Ben Johnson. We all know he was probably the biggest story of the 1988 Olympics in Seoul, Korea. Ran, I believe, a 9.79, dusted everybody, one of the few people I've ever seen pull away from Carl Lewis in the last 20 meters. When ESPN did a 30 for 30 on that whole race and Ben, it turned out at least 8 of the 9 finalists had either used it, had been suspended for using it, or there were strong suspicions that they had used it. And it relates to this comment from his late great coach, Charlie Francis. Okay? And Victor Conte told me this, ironically. He said, it's a level playing field, just not the one you think it is. That is the reality of world-class athletics. To think only a few elite athletes have an advantage, no, that is simply not true.
Don't miss a second of Fearless. Hit that like button and subscribe to keep up with our latest content.